So who's starting now?
So welcome to the 2014 Virgil Schiffler Memorial Tournament here at Melrose Bowl. It's November 2nd. We have Eric George and Rod Nuenswander bowling in our final match here today. Eric comes in as the number 2 seed, Rod as the number 6 seed today. Good bowling by each, as you can see. Eric starts out on the left lane. Higher seed gets to determine the match, so Eric, as the number 2 seed, opted to start the match on the left lane.
And today, commentating will be Henry and Ryan. Today we are using the beaten path?
Yeah, today we used the decided by Melrose Bowl, and Craig Schiffler in particular. Beaten path was the pattern of choice today. 41 feet oil pattern with very, very low volume in the mid lane. Big speed issues here today for many of the individuals making the cut to try and make sure that they stayed down at the foul line. Ball was reading in the mid lane a lot here today, and many shots through the face. Very difficult for players to keep their finesse along with their ball speed up and staying down at the line to make sure it got through the mid lane and reacted appropriately on the back end. Rod follows up Eric's strike with a 9 spare here, and he's up on lane 5 in the second frame.
Yeah, throws a nice strike in there in the pocket. And today we had the top 10 going into the match play. Only allowed 40 bowlers today because of the 8-lane center. And through 6 games of qualifying, we had the top 10 all set, ready to go. And it took a score of -12. That's right, -12 on this shot. So it got really brutal out there when they transitioned.
You know, it was up and down all day long. And I mean, after game 1, we had a cut at 14 over. Then it went down to 6. Then it was at -13. Then it was at even. Then it was at 12 over. Then it was at -13. It was all over the place.
And Eric throwing a nice strike there on lane 6. And if you guys remember that our first tournament of the year was a negative cut. Last month in Little Falls it was positive, and here again in Melrose Bowl it will be negative.
Just run it out and be done with it.
And we've chosen to go, well actually I shouldn't say that. The Sweeper Tour doesn't choose the lane pattern. Each house chooses their own pattern. And Little Falls just opted to go with the house shot. They thought it was a fair shot, and I'd say it was pretty fair.
Yeah, you know,
like it's the 5-7 out.
Every bowling alley, Henry, has their own restraints, if you will, and it just so happens that Little Falls, given the conditions that we bowl on there with the wood lanes, the older oiler machine that they have, the house pattern actually turns out to be more of a tournament shot than a lot of these modern air bowling machines along with their lanes can put out a tournament shot. So
that is right, Ryan. Rod sticking the, what was that, a Black Widow Legend?
Yeah, Rod has been using this thing shot in and shot out here today, and it's been an amazing bowling ball for him. In fact, over the last 4 games he's got lined up, and here we are looking at a turkey from Eric compared to a spare double from Rod.
And Lola leaving the 2-4. Tell you, there is a lot of oil left in the middle, but it's hard to get your ball to the middle of the part of the lane.
You know, I think the problem with the bowls actually is the fact that there is oil to still be had out there on the lane, but being down at the foul line to make sure the ball got through the mid lane was the most challenging aspect of bowling today. Many people ran it through the face several times just because of the ball reacting in the mid lane so early, and they weren't able to utilize the oil that was out there.
That's correct, because you know, by about game 4, I was up snug against the ball return, as you see Rod and Eric right now, and that was the only way to keep the ball on line without jumping. Eric gets up, looking for a 4-bagger. Looks good. Oh, gets the 4.
Trips the 4-7 there. Early roll off the shot, but still a good look that he has. Definitely reading the middle of the lane quite well. He stays down on the shot. As you can see, the imperative nature to make sure that the ball gets down the lane. That's the biggest thing.
Yes, it is. And hey, let's don't forget to mention here, Eric George has been on fire.
Yeah.
He's been in every single title match this year.
He's absolutely just been running it like crazy. In fact, I think he's ran into 2 final matches this year and a semifinal match. Even still, just being able to make cuts consistently month after month speaks volumes to the character and ability that Eric has as he leaves a flat 10. Still knows it.
That's right, Ryan. I'm sorry, you corrected me there. He did not make the finals in Little Falls. He was number 2 seed.
But still, an amazing season on behalf of Eric, and also it speaks well on behalf of Rod coming down bowling. Rod took October off from our Little Falls event, did bowl in Great River in September, and did quite well. Represented his home place quite well. In fact, here I guess we could say we have the Great River Bowl Finals Masters League, however you would like to word that.
Yeah, that's right. We got 2 really good bowlers from Sartell and here in the finals in Melrose. As Rod gets up here, he's really trying to get that ball and trips the 4-7 out.
But if you guys watch when you're looking at this on YouTube, take a look at where Rod's feet are in comparison to where his ball crossed the arrows, 15 feet down the lane. We're looking at him crossing 27, 28, looking for any ounce of oil that he could possibly get. And if you notice, his ball never got much further right of 15 at the break point, and it still held. And that's what bowlers have been faced with today, trying to figure out ways to find the oil that's left on the lane.
Yes, there's many hand positions used today. As for me, I had to resort of even kind of spinning the ball just to keep it on line.
As abnormal as that is, Henry, I think a lot of guys came down to that technique today to try to find a way to score. You know, it didn't matter if you were right or left-handed. The bottom line was the ball was going to be hooking off the lane today. And the ability to get it down and stay consistent and make quality shots was really the way to match play today. In fact, actually, the more important thing is we preach this time and time again, but spares were crucial today.
And as we watch Eric George here throw his shot here, look at where his foot is. Look with the ball crossing. What was that? Was that 5th arrow?
Absolutely. And he's standing probably 30 with his feet. It's an incredible feat that he's being able to put on today. We're looking at 25, 26, 27 on the lane at the arrows. And that just goes to show how difficult this pattern really is. Even though it's 41 feet down the lane, there is not a lot of volume in the mid lane, and therefore you do not get the opportunity to get it right or left depending on what hand you are. And so and as a result, the ball tends to roll in the mid lane, so you're really forcing it to the break point today.
Yes, you are. It is tight right now, and Eric just coming off a win over Henry Trutwin over on 3 and 4, and I gotta tell you, me and Eric, as soon as we bowled our 2 shadows each on each lane, we all know lane 3 was going to be make it or break it. That's how tough it is. Even though there was no ball return, some of these lanes when they break down is just brutal. And Rod, oh, another great shot from Rod.
Surprisingly early on today, Henry, I thought that the end pair here on lane 7 and 8 happened to be one of the higher scoring pairs of the day. And that kind of took it by storm on the regards that usually with the wall being there, it tends to dry out sooner.
Well, yes, that is true. But that also depends on the weather outside. Here in Minnesota, if it's colder, the lanes actually tend to stay more oily in that transition, as Rod leads us bringing 10 pin on 5.
Rod wraps a 10 pin on a spectacular shot. I mean, these guys are really throwing it all out there today. This is probably the deepest they've been on the bowling lane in many, many months. And it's been a true testament of ability today, and the fact that these guys are able to compete at this kind of level, this deep in today. In fact, this is game number 10 on these lanes. And when we had 40 bowlers today, 35 of them were right-handed. That right side has absolutely taken a beating, and it was apparent there with the Rod 9-pin miss as the ball rolled up in the mid lane. Very difficult spare, especially that far right today.
Yes, even though I had a polished urethane spare ball today, I could not keep it on line. As hard as I threw it, I just couldn't keep it on line because, you know, that's how dry it is. And Eric gets up here with the lead now and snaps a 10 out. Takes a commanding lead now after the open from Rod. Gets up in the 9th frame. Foundation frame. He just needs a strike to pretty much seal the deal.
This has been one of the more impressive, even though it doesn't appear like it on the scoreboard here. This has been one of the more impressive championship matches we've had all season, given the lane conditions and what these players have had to do in order to conquer this. Neither one of these gentlemen need to hold their head down. They both bowled so well today, and they deserve everything that they got.
It looks good, and that will kick the 10 out and pretty much seal the deal here. But you never know in bowling. That's the glory of it. Rod max up to 230. Still got glare up here. Oh, after another 10.
And that unfortunate shot right there, even though he did everything that he could potentially do behind the foul line, was still a great shot. It really came down to a matter of carry for a lot of players today. And there's only so much a player can do to make sure that they're performing and being able to execute shots at the highest level. As you can see, Rod is a seasoned veteran. He knows what he's doing out there. He knows how to convert these spares. He knows the hand positions. The fact of the matter is there's only so much a person can do. And sometimes it's in the deck of cards for a person, and sometimes it is not. And it just so happens to be today, Eric is better on the inside line than what Rod is. Yep. And that's not anything coming against either one of these players. They both bowled well, and they both have thrown a great series today and showing a tremendous amount of heart.
And Rod gets up there. He strikes out from back to 225. But Eric George, possibility 279. Well,
it would be a great game in the final match for to shoot a 279 game. And it just speaks to how well he's able to pick up on how the lanes transition and where he's at with his bowling game at this point. Clearly his timing is on. Clearly his hand positions are on. Clearly everything that he's doing in the decision-making process is on.
And Rod gets the late kick on the 10. Disgusted with the way he threw that one. It didn't look very good. That is for sure. But we also had a couple honor scores today. Is that not right, Ryan?
Yeah, actually we had an 11 in a row, and that went to Travis Garrett, who I believe shot 298 today. 297? One of the two?
One of the two.
And we had another individual shoot 11 in a row today. And off the top of my head, I cannot remember exactly who that was. But we'll get that to you here in just a second. But the bottom line is anybody shooting these unbelievable scores today really deserves a tremendous amount of credit. We had a 290 by Travis Garrett for his 11 in a row. But otherwise, you know, at a cut of plus 84 being the highest, we're definitely looking at a tough pattern. Plus 84 after 6 games is only about a 215 average, 216 average, somewhere right in that boat, 218 average. And most of these players that you're seeing on their typical house pattern, when these guys, when Rod and Eric go back to the Fred Mathiasen Classic League tomorrow night, at Great River Bowl, it will not be out of the ordinary for these guys to shoot a 300 game, to shoot an 800 series. And it's great to see Craig Schiffler, the owner of the bowling center, come in, shake hands with each of these gentlemen. So just a great tournament overall, and an honor to come here and pay tribute to Virgil Schiffler, who meant so much to the central Minnesota bowling community.
And there you have it, 267, 224. Eric George, winner again.
Eric George happens to catch his second victory this season, only 3 tournaments in. Congratulations to Eric, and congratulations to everybody who bowled in the Virgil Schiffler Classic, or Virgil Schiffler Memorial Tournament here today. And we'll see everybody in Cold Spring Lanes.
And there's the ball, the salute that Eric George is throwing, pin-up salute. He says it comes out 11-11 this year. And we will have to get a picture with the finals. Thank you for coming, and you guys have a good night.